Hi, we're the Price family.
Do you feel like you struggle to get your kid to listen? If so, this video is for you.
So one of our goals with the Millennial venture is to get interviews of other people who have walked through either the season of life that we're talking about or have a lot of wisdom in a certain area. There's this mom who works in our office who is kind of like a role model mom for both of us.
She's awesome. She's like a boss, power woman. She does it all, I feel like, and she has 3 awesome boys. She has a really awesome story about how she's come to set these standards and communicated expectations with her kids for what she expects of them.
Exactly. I mean, no kid is perfect, but her kids are really well adjusted. And she definitely started this whole journey based off of being told that her child wasn't listening to discipline within the classroom setting, and it all led into her understanding that her child was a good child. She just needed to clearly communicate her expectations and then follow up with very logical consequences. And so rather than us talk through this video, we got a FaceTime interview with her, and we hope that you learn as much as we learned from this interview. So enjoy. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Jonathan, how are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm so glad that you're talking with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your journey to kind of seek out a family counselor and like what led you to that.
Yeah, sure. So when my oldest son was in 1st grade, we transitioned him he had been in a Montessori school through kindergarten. And then after kindergarten, we decided to transition him into a private Christian school with a Montessori kind of philosophy. Kids are allowed to learn at their own pace. They're allowed to move around. And this particular teacher was really old school, had been there for a long, long time, and had a really tough time. Max had a tough time with just sitting still and moving around. And he wanted to stand at his desk, and she thought that he had ADHD. Well, my husband and I just we didn't believe that in our heart. We didn't agree with that. But we decided to find out. And so we pursued, we went to our pediatrician and just kind of like started asking questions. And he sent us to a family counselor. We went for him to go through this battery of tests, but it ended up being parenting counseling for Shane and I, which was so awesome. We didn't even know that we needed it. And that's one thing I would say, like, you all think you might have this on lock, but you don't. You definitely could benefit. But he really gave us the tools to be able to really just be clear with our expectations in regards to behavior in our house. He kind of started with a framework of, before you can expect children to listen to you and want to please you, you have to really build that foundation of trust. The foundation was make sure that we're spending each parent 30 minutes a day, one-on-one time with each child. So at that time it was really, Max, and then our middle son was young. And in that time, it's free time for them. It's whatever they want to do. And that was really important. And he really stressed that. I think so often, I know I do, I'll say, oh, do you want to color? Or do you want to play Legos? And, even though we're spending time together, I was kind of like directing what we were going to do. So in this situation and during this time frame, he said, it's whatever they want to do. And if they want to play Legos, then you sit on the floor. And even he said, don't say, oh, let's build a bridge. It's more, what do you want to build? I'm here for you. It's just literally their time with you, and to be consistent with that. He also gave us 3 rules. He asked us, what kind of, rules or discipline system did we have, which we really didn't have one at all. We were just kind of, winging it. And so he gave us 3 rules. The first one was be respectful to yourself, to everyone, including yourself. So that I thought was a really important distinction. So for example, even saying, oh, I'm so stupid, or, I'm not good at this, or that's not being respectful to yourself. And the second one was be responsible, which is so important. And honestly, something I still battle with to this day. I'm like, guys, you've got to pick up after yourself. You've got to put your bike in the garage. That's your responsibility. You've got to put your pick your socks up. This is not my job. And this counselor's whole thing was, you've got to teach these kids how to live by rules, and that there are consequences. I mean, essentially his thing was, as a parent, it's your job to teach your children how to be responsible adults. It's not our job to, kind of be their slave and, do everything for them. And then the last rule, which has always been my favorite, is do what you're told right away, happily. And I love that happily part, because even if there's, fussing and grumbling about being asked to do something, that's breaking the rule. That's breaking one of our rules. So, but with that rule, again, he just gave us so many great tips that we didn't even think about. But with that, he said, don't stand across the house and yell, hey, will you unload the dishes, or, whatever it is. He said, you've got to be very intentional, lower your voice. So they have to lean in, look them right in the eye, and ask them and tell them what you need them to do. Found it really is so true. When you can just get in their space and connect with them, you get such better results. And from a consequence perspective, he said, start with tickets. It's kind of like a ticket thing. And he believed in, you start with having tickets, not like you earn them during the day. Essentially, if you have a ticket left, then you can enjoy all the benefits of living in this family. However, if you lose your tickets, then you're essentially reduced to the minimum requirement. This is what he said, and it really shocked me at the time, that the minimum requirement that would keep DCF from taking your children away from you. So what that would, for us, what he said was, you can start with however many tickets. So if you have really little kids, you might want to start with 6 tickets, so they have, and every time they break one of those 3 rules, then that's a ticket that goes away. It was, in the beginning, it was really amazing how quickly they lost tickets. I mean, it was like bam, bam, gone. So when you lose all your tickets, this is what happens. You go to your room. So they go to their room for the rest of the day, no matter what time it is. And trust me, Jonathan, when I tell you, I've had children at the threshold of their door at 9 a.m. like scream, Mugga, please come on, please come on. You got to stick to your guns on this. This is how it works. But no, that's really the truth. But so you go to your room for the rest of the day, and you can eat bread and you get water. You don't even get ice. According to our counselor, ice is a privilege. Then they figure out, so, okay, if I don't obey by the rules, then there are these consequences, and I have to spend my day in the room, and everybody else is out there having fun. So it seems a little harsh, but it really did work, and over time, not very long time, actually, once they started losing tickets and they had a ticket, 1 ticket left, it was like, oh boy, I really need to start listening and paying attention and being responsible and being respectful and all those things. But that was really the gist of it. Again, it was really about level setting expectations, so they're really clear, and also being consistent. That is so important, just being consistent. There were definitely times when I would show grace, and that was also important for me, that they, we were showing them grace.
We hope this empowers you as a parent, and also helps your good kids that want to be good kids understand the communications you have set for them.
Thanks so much for watching today. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and continue to follow along with us on this millennial adventure.